It's anniversary.
What email do you want me to use?
You can use Hotmail. Or you want me to pull it up?
Well, I mean, I can pull it up, but I was going to see if you wanted to have a copy on your desk or...
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could just my first and last name at Hotmail.
Let me know if you got it. If you get it.
Alright. Let me check my phone because my computer's been doing an update.
So I'll go ahead and start talking through what you're going to see whenever you open the email.
You sent it?
You
Oh, I see it now. Junk came from your junk removal.
Oh yeah, I am. I am in a different Gmail account. Yeah. I was this was something that I was testing out. This is something new that we wanted to start doing. Especially since when we spoke before, you know, I kind of went through my process for just getting a good video created.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, this is more focused on basically creating sales or developing a sales funnel. Research shows us that a web page with a video on it converts 80% higher than one that doesn't have one. So that's the reason why I'm incorporating video production with it.
Okay.
Because we'll increase our conversions, and in the long run, it'll be easier for us to reach our goals.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah, I am. Why you put your makeup on? No, this is cool, man. Like, this is casual. I just wanted to document today what we were discussing. That way, I got it on record, and I can use it also to help simplify, you know, me explaining this for the future.
Okay.
And as he said, you know, we have some other people that are interested in what we're going to be talking about today. So I wanted to make sure that we captured it. And I'm doing the Gary Vee thing, you know, document versus create. So this is something that's actually happening. So we wanted to just get it on
Gary
camera.
Vee does well with that.
Absolutely. And you could as well, just in the way that I see you move with your social media and how you kind of are doing your thing, which is really what we're here to learn about, is exactly what it is that you are trying to do.
Okay.
We did talk about the recruiting, and you wanted to expand your team.
Mm-hmm.
And so could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so January, I am going to be transitioning back into a senior management position. So partially in, you know, preparation for that. But then also, just because like October we had a really high production month, November was a month that was supposed to be geared and streamlined towards recruiting. So the culmination of the two, you know, having a month of November that's supposed to be focused on recruiting, and then also me trying to prepare for my team that I will be assuming as of January 1, you know, I just wanted to definitely take some more creative or different approaches with recruiting to see what else I could do to yield better results. So it's with us, we are constantly recruiting because it's a 10% retention rate of agents. So 1 out of 10 makes it, you know, or stays with the company.
Okay.
And then in order to find real talent, you know, you ball those numbers to like 1 out of 50. I don't know. So you always want to be recruiting to be able to continue to have certain kind of growth. And actually, we went over projections today, my boss and I need to hire somewhere between like 200 and we'll just say 400, between 200 and 400 people over the course of 2021 for me to be in line with my goals and what I'm trying to get done. Because our hire to code ratio, and code is like when somebody gets an agent number, we get business in their name, they're actually like submitting as an agent. Our hire to code ratio is 4-to-1. So for every 4 people we hire, we're only going to code 1. Only one's going to make it through training. Only one's going to get an agent number and get business and be like submitting. So I have to code 50 people, which means I need to hire at least 200 minimum. That's if I'm doing like scarce. That's really if I'm doing the numbers I did this year, to be honest. And the goal is to always be growing. So really, I would need like 300 minimum for next year and 400 ideally for me to be in line with growth and then even personal goals. And I would just like to get into a rhythm now before January of what my tactics and approach is going to be to recruiting and what works and kind of, you know, troubleshooting what's going to work better for me before I get there. You know, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
So do you have a value of how much each person is worth of the 300 to 400, or you
150? Each hire is worth 150.
$150.
Mm-hmm. That's how much it costs us to get a hire with the recruiting systems we use now.
Wait, no. How much value do they bring to the company?
10,000 ALP.
ALP?
Annual life premium. Mm-hmm. So, like 10,000 a year. So it's called ALP per code, which is what you use to determine the value.
So is that only for the ones that you put through the coding system?
Everybody goes through the coding system if you make it. So just saying the ones that get coded, yes.
Okay.
I have a question about the 300 to 400 people that. So does that also include the 4-to-1 ratio of 4 people go through training and only?
Yeah. So my 300 and 400 numbers are based on the fact that yeah. So basically, you just take 75 and multiply it by 4.
Because you want 75 is ultimately what you're looking for.
Minimum.
Okay. And right now you said you guys are spending $150 to get current hires, and they're not. Are you happy with those results, or?
I mean, it kind of is just what it is.
What is it? What kind of results are you getting currently?
I mean, it's like a, well, I don't want to call it a cattle call. It's hard for me to answer that question. That's a loaded question because within my team, within my hierarchy and my deal, our recruiting is broken for a few reasons. So it's not good metrics on what the results are. When I look at the agency overall, I can speak better to that. So, you know, the agency probably averages per MGA 4 hires a week. And then of that, again, you're going to code 1 probably, maybe 2 if you're lucky. But coding is usually who will stick, and then that doesn't even mean they'll always stick, you know? Like, you can get them through the training process, they can get an agent number, they can write business and still quit.
Right.
So that's what, you know.
Question, how long does that process usually take?
4 to 6 weeks
4 to 6 weeks.
minimum.
2 to 3 months at the least. For
About
anybody
2
that
months.
sticks
It's
around.
about 2 months. It's not. It shouldn't be more than 2 months.
Right. Okay.
Licensing takes about 3 to 4 weeks, and then they have to do field training. So they don't have to. Really, they can get coded within 4 weeks.
Okay.
But fully trained and released,
Right.
it's about 6 to 8, maybe 8. If they're slow learners, you know, the training for us is subjective based on who you're training. More so now that we're working from home and we're virtual, because we don't have as much interaction to direct field train and hold, like, or at least I find,
Right.
hold stringent schedules and
With training.
stipulations with training, because it's detached. It's
Right.
you know.
And that might be another thing to look at too, like digitizing your training, so that way you can send them stuff or have them download the training for this portion of, for, you know what I'm saying, this
Yeah,
area
I don't
versus
think that's a bad
them
idea
having to come
actually.
in.
Well, that's
Because then
actually
that way that'll slow down what you have to do as far as training each person, especially with not being, you know, in close contact.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, you can repeat that as fast as you getting people coming in. So it's like you get a lot of people coming in, but you have this set up, and it's like, okay, here, go through this. Once you get to this point, then you would know that they have a decent understanding of at least certain things, and then it'll be easier to do whatever the hands-on or whatever you might need them to work harder on, or you know what I'm saying, that takes more. They would be able to jump into that a little bit quicker, depending on how quick they actually go through the steps.
Right.
Because I know some people, especially nowadays, where you're trying to go ahead and get, you know, things rolling, get things moving, especially not knowing how the economy is really working. So being able to do that, somebody could go through the training in a day or 2 or a month or however much, you know, information it is. Because I know even back when I used to do school online, I would just go through the courses, just go through them, because if I knew what I was doing for the most part, and then just subtle information, if I just go through all of this, I don't have to do too much come the next day. So that could be a viable option as well.
Right.
But
that
that's
actually
kinda
is a
separate from
very
what
important.
we're talking about right now. But I do think that's good.
I think it would be a good way to move forward, because if we are able to help you streamline your process, then being able to streamline your onboarding is only going to be that much more valuable as well. And so, okay, so with me, to me, the most valuable thing that we could do real quick right now is to figure out, like, okay, well, let me actually first go through and explain to you exactly what we want to do and how we think that we can streamline this process for you. I don't know if you want to follow along in that document that I sent you, but basically we want to start with telling a story. It usually works best to tell your story, because we want to connect your audience to your message. And to me, I think that's going to be more impactful than any other form of trying to get new hires.
They had me do something like that already for work. I can show it to you.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
This is a very small piece of it. because it was a lot more extensive. They had me answer like 6 questions on video.
Mm-hmm.
Just, hit record your answer, and then they compiled it into like a little whatever montage, whatever. But dang, I can't find it. Hold on. But I think this is similar to what you're saying. If I can find it.
You don't got a memory card on you, do you?
In the car. That other one didn't seem like it had anything on it. The first one.
That's probably, well, it's full.
The other one's still going and stuff.
No, it's still rolling.
Prior to working with AIL, I was in the hospitality industry. So I was a restaurant manager, and then before that, a bartender and a server. My transition into my career with AIL ended up being ironically smoother than I expected. If you are in the hospitality industry, if you are in the retail industry, you've already been equipped with the skill set to be successful here at AIL. If you think about it, when you're servicing a customer, if you take care of them or you do a good job, they'll come back or they'll even refer their friends and family. Well, here it works the same way. So the same customer service skills and the skills you've acquired with helping people, you can transfer so well here at AIL because that's fundamentally what we do. The time is now, not next. This is next.
So what did they do with this?
They basically were using,
That's the same company?
yeah.
That's the stuff y'all use?
They post this stuff to the Instagram, Facebook, things like that, but they had people, different successful people in the company talking about
it's rare to find a place where you can
what
help
they were
people
doing
and make a
before
good
or
career.
what they liked
I
about
don't
it.
think there's another
They were using this
company
for
that
recruiting
cares
pieces.
as much as American Income does.
So what did they do? Where did they put it?
Day.
Social media.
Just social media?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it was.
Did it work? Did y'all get a result from that? Like,
I don't
how
know
did
if they.
y'all feel?
I don't know if they measured it or if it. I don't know nothing about that.
You didn't necessarily see a difference on your end.
No, it wasn't for us. It was for. It was just for marketing for the company.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Because we would definitely do something a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah, I would say,
more
yeah.
captivating.
Yeah, cause see, for me, it's like if you're gonna interrupt somebody on social media about
And then
a
have
job
them pay attention
opportunity,
to it.
it
You gotta
needs
give them a reason.
you gotta really speak to them. And so, to me, I mean, I don't know, maybe we are desensitized to that because that doesn't speak directly to us.
But at the same time, I believe that's kind of how it is for the people that you're necessarily targeting. Because, especially if you're referencing on social media is so full of so many things that's catching people's attention to just, like yours looked good. I liked yours because it had like the colors and stuff was happening and stuff like that. But on the other one was just like people just talking about a window. And it's like, I would scroll to that, see it, and keep going. I wouldn't even know what they're talking about before I'm scrolling past it.
Yeah, I feel like the hook. I feel like that would be what I would drill down on is like how you're gonna hook people, and then I guess for us, like I didn't really understand like the response that y'all that if I was the target market,
But see, that's
what to do.
I think that's the thing is that we're not necessarily even part of that target market, or even because what they're looking for is overall boosting the company and not necessarily bringing in like members or anybody referencing what we would be doing. So it would kind of be oblivious to us.
They were
on
trying to do
that.
it, they just didn't do it direct enough. They were basically trying to communicate or iterate the point that you could come from different walks of life and do what we do.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
you have me, I was talking about hospitality.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. If you, because you have to see some of the other videos.
Yeah.
But like,
But that doesn't
somebody
really make
talks
me
about.
wanna-
But see, that's what it is. What needs to be broken down first is what the message is. Like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to tell them? And then come up with a good way of
Before
saying
I
that
worked for
versus.
American Income, I worked in a factory position right out of high
See, I'm
school.
already.
I was working in the restaurant.
I mean, I get what they did.
business.
I was working in public accounting, worked in private for a little bit.
I was a welder fitter. I was with the U.S.
Like, this is a good video that could sit on like the website somewhere for someone that is like
healthcare field.
into the recruiting process.
I could see it on TV.
careers.
I could see it on TV as long as I couldn't skip it.
Where all my 6 or 7
Then I could
positions at?
see it. You know
You
what I'm
then
saying?
you
Like
realize
it would.
that this doesn't work that way. Yeah,
Because
American
for
Income
something like
literally
this, it
gave
just
me
wouldn't hold my
what life could
attention
be.
until
It
actually
really kinda
hearing
just made
what's
me happy.
beneficial for
This is
me.
the only opportunity that I've ever
You know
seen in
what I'm
my life where
Just once we get to
come out of
the
college,
messaging
make
part, we
6
just have to
figures
make it.
right off the bat.
Well, I think it's
It
just
really doesn't
generic.
matter what
I
you've
think
done
it's
in the
more
past,
general
but if you wanna
rather
be in
than
the
being
driver's seat of
specific.
your own
Right, that's what I'm
success,
saying.
So that's what. So when I'm talking about the message of the video, like that's literally the most important part, and then the way that is put together into a sales funnel for the person that is gonna actually be like, you know what, I'm gonna give my information because I just want some more information about this. Whatever they said caught my attention.
But that all comes down with the messaging. So as long as you know what it is that you're trying to say and what you want to come across, then we'll isolate that message. The main part that we have to, I guess, calculate is the best way to set it up, because just as it is on your end, it's a
Well, the
numbers
budget,
game.
like that's basically the only thing that we would need to talk about is what the budget is, because once we know what you're willing to spend to acquire a new hire, then we'll back the math out and use that to determine what we should spend in order to reach that goal. So, for example, I would, if I could, let me just put this up.
Sit on the notebook. I was about to say, didn't you write it
You need paper?
So, like, okay,
down? Yeah.
this is the best way to explain it real quick for you. So, like, the way we determine these factors is we determine your process. So, our process is that we create ads and we create the landing pages with a commercial on it, right? So then from there, that's designed to create a sales meeting that you guys would take. And then based on the sales meeting, how many people become a client. Do you know what your current close rate is from that from a conversation of someone coming in and
Are we talking about people buying life insurance now, or are we still
no,
talking
we're
about
still
recruiting?
talking about recruiting.
Okay, so you're saying, yeah, it's 4 to 1. That's what we were talking about.
Okay, so out of 4 people that you have a sales meeting with, you're gonna hire 1.
Right.
So in other words,
Well, you're talking about
you're
talking about set to
That's technically
set
all
to
4 of those
hire.
people were already hired, and then one of those people were went
coded.
further.
But
Right.
he's
Yeah,
talking
so-
about who you talk to versus
Who you
who
hired.
you hire. You're talking about the step before that.
The step
Right.
before that.
Okay. I think that's a good question. I know what our numbers used to be. I don't know that I know that number now, but I want to say it's about 30%.
Okay, that's even better, because
30.
we're working off of 10%, because that's normal sales is you speak to 10, one's gonna buy.
Mm-hmm.
So if we wanted 4 people, we would need to bring 40 people in here for you to get those 4 people out of that 40.
If you were doing a 10%, but
Right.
we're gonna hire more than it's
Right.
gonna be
But
20 to
if we
30% for
if we
us.
set it for 10%, then we guarantee that you have.
No, we
that-
can do it.
that
I mean,
amount.
we can
No,
do
we
it.
can still do it. I'm just saying, like that's how we were setting it up initially until we find out what the actual numbers are. Because once we actually start and put everything in, get the analytics back, start seeing what's working, what keywords need to be changed, stuff like that, then we can actually target and figure out exactly what it is in order to keep it moving and have a steady figure instead of figuring it out, because it takes a little minute to figure it out with the different markets and your target. For the most part, are all your people coming in from this area, like the north side, all over the state?
Anywhere in Georgia, yeah, because now we work remote, so.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
even better because
So-
that broadens the target.
So 30% of 250 is 75. So if you get 75 people that, so we need to multiply that by 4 again, because you said 4-to-1 ratio. So that's,
But the 75 that I was saying is my minimum code standard is for the year next year,
All
which
the
is why I said I need 300 hires. In order to get 300 hires, you're going to need 900 people that were spoken to
yeah,
or
yep. Okay,
had a
that's where we're at.
consciousness.
Yep. Okay. So now I can give you a better. Let's see. So that means we need 30,000 people that visit this webpage that we create that go. So basically, we need to convert 30,000
30,000
Mhm.
a year.
in a year, and so then we back that number out.
It's actually pretty good. Especially since we're not overly.
So we would
limited
need to
on the
reach like 1 million
location.
people with our ad.
Okay.
So that would be the first part that I would want to make clear to you. So our game plan is to reach 1 million people that are inside of your target market, not 1 million random. All right. So now let's go back to, you said that 75 is your number. 75 times, you said each person is worth 10 grand to you, right? So if we reach our goal, you get $750,000 for a successful campaign. Would you agree with the value there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now my question to you is, do you have a current cost per acquisition that you guys are already working with?
Mhm.
What's that number? That's the 150?
150 per hire is what it boils down to be, but we spend roughly $600-700 a week.
To get the 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, basically the way that I would do it is I would ask you, how much are you willing to spend in order to get one of the 75 people. So just one. So if we take our
It
campaign
needs to be
numbers,
matched, I think. Max 2. Like, it doesn't make sense to pay more than what I'm paying for something unproven. So I would say it would need to be a match rate, a beat rate, but a max out rate of 200 per hire. I'm willing to pay more per hire if it's a better hire to code ratio, but we wouldn't know that right away. You see what I'm saying? Which
Right,
is why
for
you
sure.
were saying we would have to have data and metrics first to really understand numbers later. But
okay,
based on
so-
our numbers now, from what I'm paying for who we meet with, who we deal with for our recruiting now, I wouldn't pay more than what I'm paying. If anything, I could just give them more money and tell them I need more numbers.
Right.
But the goal was to try to get creative or take a different avenue to see if it would yield better results.
Got it.